welcome everybody, and welcome to our college and career night here for the education pathway. My name is Alvin Lewis. I will be the moderator for this evening. I'm the CTEP division head at John Hersey High School. I'll let all of our panelists go ahead and introduce themselves.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kimberly Bianchini. I'm the director and owner of Advanced Early Learning Centers.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Bonadur. I'm an English language arts teacher at Lincoln Middle School and an Ed Academy host.
Hi, everyone. My name is Angela Kumler. I am an education pathway teacher at Rolling Meadows High School.
Hello, everyone. I'm Aubrey Horlemis, and I'm a student intern at John Hersey High School.
And good evening. My name is Tim Koziak, and I am an Ed Pathway teacher at Buffalo Grove High School.
Perfect. First of all, I want to thank you all for being here tonight as we go through our pathway. Just for the audience to see, in our early childhood pre-K2, we have these different pathways. We have our course selections and our course sequence. Our teachers will speak a little more to this as the night goes on, but I wanted you to have the opportunity to see our education K-12 course sequence, but also let you know that in regard to that, this can also be found on our website, right? So if you go to our website, www.d214.org, you'll click on that academics link and then academic program and pathways guidebook that you'll be able to find all this information. As we get started today, we're just going to take some time to ask some questions, to get some understanding from the different individuals that we have here on the screen. So we will start with our industry partners. And I'm going to ask the question to describe a typical day, right? As we get started with our partners, my ask of you is to talk a little bit about your background, talk about your undergraduate experience, but then also explain what does that typical day look like in your world.
So I believe I'm supposed to go first, correct? My name is Kimberly Bianchini, and as I said, I'm the director of Advanced Early Learning Centers. My background has always been in early childhood education. I can say that I've been a teacher now for 35 years, which is very, very concerning, but also very rewarding. I serve the earliest learners, and so we actually start at birth and go all the way to 6 years old on a full-time basis. Advanced Early Learning Centers is unique in the fact that our mission is to get families to self-sustainability. And what that looks like is very different for everyone. And so what we find ourselves is in a position of not only being early childhood educators, we find ourselves in a position of being a liaison between families and their community partners, families and the schools, whatever that looks like in order to really support the family. My educational background includes a bachelor's in from Northeastern University. I continued graduate work in the University of Illinois, Chicago, and partnered with Chicago Public Schools for a program which gave me both my master's and my doctoral level degree in early childhood education and urban education, as well as bilingual education, which is a key factor in the early childhood education industry at this time. If in fact anyone was thinking about going into early childhood education, there are so many different pathways that it's a unique environment to really foster a variety of interest areas as well as a variety of educational experiences. So that's something that I've always found very unique to early childhood education. Another really positive aspect is that right now, particularly in the state of Illinois, our state educational system is recognizing the importance of early childhood. And so therefore, they're coming in to fill the need for early childhood educators with a variety of programs to support our learners, our youngest learners, with educators that are well-rounded, and not only from educational backgrounds, but a variety of backgrounds. And so you find yourself in a very unique position to attend a variety of college paths, yet still wind up within the early childhood field. So we're very blessed to be in a diverse time in our industry, as well as a very well-supported time in our industry. There are many programs on a state level and on a community level that also will support you as you pursue higher education, both financially, in mentorship roles, and in internship roles. And all of those are really based in the thought of increasing early childhood education as a professional professional industry, as where it has not previously been looked at that from that lens. So we as early childhood educators are excited that ISB and our state are actually coming alongside us and recognizing the importance of what we do in those first 6 years of life.
Thank you so much, Kimberly. John, I'm going to pass it on over to you. Tell
Awesome.
us about your typical day, and then a little bit about your background.
Absolutely. Thank you. I completed my undergraduate degree at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. And then as far as my educational work experience, I've been at Lincoln my entire time. This is my 11th year here at Lincoln. I taught 8th grade for 7 years, and I just this year changed to become the team leader and the 7th grade English language arts teacher. So seeing a new grade this year, which has been exciting. In a typical day, as a middle school teacher, we have 10 periods throughout the day. And for 6 of those periods, I'm teaching in a classroom to, my students. We set that up in like a block scheduling where I will be with a class for 2 periods at a time. So for about 60% of the day, it's, teaching a general class and an accelerated class. We have a period of a team meeting period every day where we'd either meet with our team peers or our curriculum peers to just kind of talk about what's going on in our classes, discuss students and needs. I have a study hall period of one of the 10 where I am watching over and helping students who need some extra executive functioning support. And then I have a planning period, and then I have a lunch period, which I do lunch duty during. So I get to see all the students outside at recess and lunchroom, just, enjoying themselves. So pretty full day, but it's very rewarding. At least we get to spend a lot of time with, 13, 14-year-old students who are, transitioning into that young adult time. So it's a really rewarding position.
Awesome. Thank you for that. As we transition to our District 214 teachers, can you describe the courses that you teach within the pathway, and then what content and skills are you exposing students to along with your background?
Okay, I'll start. Again, my name is Angela Kumler. I'm at Rolling Meadows High School. Currently, I am teaching all of the practicum and education classes and intro to teaching methods. And all of those classes are hosted in our lab school, what we call the Mini Mustang Preschool. So I have students who are with me for a part of the week, and then are with our preschool students leading, planning, and instructing them. So getting hands-on, again, what we call lab experience, where they're getting to practice new things, try something different, maybe push themselves a little bit if they're nervous, and then see if it works, try it out with our preschool age children. So it's a really unique class that we get to offer right in our buildings, and kind of the first step of working in front of a group of children within the pathway itself. Tim, you want to go next?
Yeah, and I've got to speak to the impact of the lab schools, because oftentimes people can misrepresent that to just being a preschool type of environment, but you can want to be a high school AP chemistry teacher, and the experience you get in the lab school and designing lessons and employing those lessons with students is valuable for anybody. So the classes that I get to teach, we have those classes at BG as well, but I get to teach several of the dual credit classes. We have 2 dual credit classes with NLU. One is College Intro to Education, which is on history and philosophy. The other one is Applied Psychology, where we look at a bunch of theorists and how they apply to education in our instructional practice. The other are with Eastern. One is College Inquiry. Each school has a different flavor to the implementation, but there are a lot of hours embedded in that class. 20 hours within a high school setting in a high school classroom. And the other is diversity in education. And we look at stereotypes and how we address those in our classrooms. Ed Academy is where 2 of those dual credit classes are embedded, and that is for seniors. And Ed Academy not only has 2 semester-long dual credit courses, but it has an internship component where once a week students go to local schools and they get to work with students, work with teachers, design lessons, create lessons, and teach and work one-on-one. It's an incredibly valuable experience, an opportunity for them to really experience teaching. And as you'll hear in any of these career pathways, the goal is for them to experience it and see if it's something they love prior to going after it in college. And so they've got a lot of internship opportunities in all of our courses and dual credit opportunities, and they have set themselves up for amazing success as being a part of the pathway.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for that. As we transition, as we continue to talk about our classes and those parts of the pathway, Aubrey, I'm going to transition over to you. And I'm going to ask if you could just describe your experience in the pathway so far. What courses have you found have been most helpful for you?
Yeah, so my experience in this pathway has been incredible. And a course that I found really helpful to prepare me beyond Hersey was College Intro to Education. Given that I want to be a teacher, this class has really helped me. It really taught me a lot of teaching strategies, icebreakers to do with the kids, and overall, over the course of the class, it helped me develop my teaching philosophy, which is obviously, a huge thing that's awesome to be able to do before college, because you'll obviously do more of that in college and beyond. Another class that I really enjoyed was the Practicum Intro to Education classes and early childhood classes. This class gave me hands-on experience working with the kids and kind of really, made me feel confident with myself that this is something I really do want to go into, because it's hard to know if this is something you truly want to go into if you haven't actually had time in the classroom with the kids. And just being able to be in that classroom at, age 14 is when I started. It's just to have that hands-on experience so early was truly awesome. So I just feel very prepared for, beyond, and I know that education is something I truly want to go into based off that class.
Thank you, Aubrey. That gave me goosebumps knowing our students are prepared for when they leave us. So as we go back to our industry partners, we want to look at the aspect of our high school students. So what should our high school students start to do to begin to prepare to have a career in your field?
Yes, thank you so much. And actually referring back to some of the programs that I've been seeing as far as the high school students, I have to give great accolades to the teachers that are managing those high school programs and having the interns in our school. So we do actually have 2 District 214 interns at Advanced Preschool. And what's really, really nice is, as Aubrey said, you have the hands-on experience. Education is a very unique industry in the fact that I truly believe that you have to have a specific passion for it. And when you go that specific passion of education, you even have to have a specific passion for the age that you're going to teach. So it's not like many other industries where it's kind of like, well, I think I'm going to do business. You can't do that. You can't fake it in front of those kids. So one thing that I really would encourage everyone to do is to look into the programs that are being represented tonight, whether that's the Ed Pathway or the internship in all of your schools. And 214 is amazing in the way that they run those programs and partner with community organizations. We actually have such a unique partnership that not only do we have the interns are actually hired into our agency, and then they're able to continue with our agency even after the class is finished. So instead of working at maybe, let's say, a McDonald's or something that's not related to their career path, they're continuing to gain that experience and gain that knowledge in their off hours job or in their off hours time within the high school environment. And that's something that is just not something that you want to minimize. Having that hands-on experience in an internship as well as in your own work experience is something that is just invaluable when you go into our industry. One thing that I did forget to mention, when you participate in a day at Advanced Early Learning Centers, not only are you interacting with our youngest learners, you are having the benefit of seeing development, understanding how children develop, and having that knowledge for a lifetime, knowing what you need to see at all stages of development, not only goes into your professional life, but it goes into your personal life as well. So we feel as educators, we're uniquely positioned to offer that to our students. But definitely getting into the classroom, getting in front of those students gives you not only the opportunity to experience, if that's the path for you, it gives you the experience of being able to actually do it.
Thank you. Thank you. Same thing, John. How can a high school student begin to prepare to be in your career field?
Yeah, I think I would 100% echo what Aubrey and Kimberly just said. Being able to be in an internship and actually get into the classroom and see what it's like to work with students is such a valuable experience to see if it's something like we had said that you have a passion for and something that you want to do. I've hosted an intern through the Ed Academy every year I've taught. It's been really exciting. It's been some of my old students when they were at middle school. This year, I currently have a senior at Prospect who joins me once a week. And she just spent, I think 2 weeks ago, was with me for the entire day and walked through the entire day with me, was in the meetings with me, was in all my other periods doing lunch duty. So she got the full experience as far as, seeing not just the one period, but actually an entire day as a teacher, which should give her a good, feeling if this is something she's interested in doing. And also, I think, like we had said, Kimberly had mentioned the idea of seeing which age group you think you'd be interested in teaching. Because, and I was thinking about teaching, I immediately thought high school, but then once I came into a middle school building, I thought, again, these, students are mature enough where I can have those deeper conversations with them. And still, they're still kind of at that younger age where I hopefully can be a positive influence to them as they're about to enter high school. So I think, again, if you're a high school student looking to be a teacher, I think the best thing you can do is get in the classroom in whatever way your school has available for you.
Awesome. And to echo what everyone has said, the opportunities in District 214 are endless, right? As someone who's come from outside the district, coming into the district, it's unreal the amount of opportunities that our students are able to have here in the district. As we transition back to our District 214 teachers, we want to look at some of those external experiences that students will have in class. So what experiences do they have, or what outside things do we incorporate, or some different things that they'll see as they join your course?
All right, I can start. So in several of the education pathway classes, we involve guest speakers so that have come in within our District 214 family and outside of there too. Even going back to the very first course in the pathway, Foundations for Learning and Development, which is a development course that starts from birth all the way through age 18. So you're just learning about how children learn and grow through all the age groups. And in there, we've had people come in from even the medical field to come talk to us about, their roles and responsibilities, social workers, psychologists. So you're getting a nice taste of some other careers besides even education to kind of start you off in the pathway. And then as we grow, we've taken students more specifically to like ISU for the Future Educators Conference. We've done visits with NLU in the past before. So you're getting some college-like experiences mixed in there while still learning the content and curriculum of the classes within it.
And I would echo that and simply emphasize this. In teaching is something, as many have been saying here, that unless you're doing, you don't know if you like it or not. So in all of the content that we teach, we are embedding opportunities for students to teach, to fail forward, to get up in front of people, and to be teaching. There's a video clip I show, and the gentleman says, what if riding a bike was done like school these days, where you had to learn the history of the bike, you had to learn the parts of the bike, you had to learn the vocabulary of a bike, and you never got to actually ride a bike? And it really hit me that these education classes, we need to make sure that even while we're teaching the philosophy, the background, all of the foundational components that kids need to be doing. And the only way to do that, and the nice thing is teaching. And so a lot of the content that we cover, we're having them develop lessons and teach them to each other. And again, John, I got to thank you for partnering with us and having students in your classroom. Ultimately, all of the content is amazing, but when the students get in the classroom and get to do it, it's probably one of the most powerful experiences they have. And the full day experience was prompted by Angela's colleague a few years ago saying, let's get them in there for a full day and feel it. And I will tell you, I had my students text me at the end of that first day and said, I'm ready for the longest nap I've ever had. They appreciated the exhaustion, and yet then when they came back and talked about how fulfilling it was, the opportunity they had to work with students, they come back always excited about their experiences. And so our students, I've had students go on to college, and Angela mentioned ISU. I have a student that's been there for 2 years and said, Coz, honestly, content-wise in school, I'm kind of bored, because our students in District 214 are set so far ahead of many other schools where kids don't have programs like this. They've learned how to do lesson plans. They've learned to develop an educational philosophy, and they've been in front of students actually doing this, that they are ahead of the class when they go off to college. And I think that's one of the strengths of a program like this.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. As we continue to talk about those experiences that our students get in the classroom, Aubrey, can you tell me a little bit about your experiences and how have these experiences helped you reaffirm what you want to do post high school?
Yeah, so I had an internship with District 214 at Flower Garden Daycare. So I got an experience that was besides the traditional classroom. And it gave me an incredible experience getting to work with children from birth to age 12. They have, a baby's infants room, toddlers rooms, choose rooms, pre-kindergarten, kindergarten, and a summer camp over the summer. So I really had the ability to work with every age, which was really awesome for me because it really helped me kind of gain an understanding of where I wanted to be and what age group of kids I worked well with. And is this something I truly want to be in? And it really was. It definitely does hit you the first day. We're like, wow, this is a lot. I've never spent time with babies before. I've never had to feed a baby before. And then you get in that experience and you're like, wow, this is really, really awesome. This is definitely something I could see myself like doing for the rest of my life. I absolutely love it. And now I actually work there. And I'm a kindergarten teacher's aide. And I love it. I work during my off period at school and a little bit after school when I can. And I absolutely love it. Just getting to see the excitement on the kid's face every day. Just an experience that I couldn't have otherwise gotten unless it was from this internship. So truly grateful for all the opportunity.
Oh, Aubrey, I resonate with a lot of things you said there. I like the opportunity that you have to work during the school day and some of those off times and gain some of that experience during that time, but also have that experience after school. I will echo. I felt the same way feeding and doing all these things to a newborn. But that was when my wife and I had kids and I was much older and didn't have those opportunities at your age. But yes, it is definitely exhausting, definitely exhausting. As we transition back to our industry partners, looking for advice for our students who are coming into high school. If they want to be in your field at some point in their life, some point in their career, what's a few words of advice that you would give them now to begin to prepare for when they get to that point of walking into that field?
Yes, thank you so much. And I appreciate both the comments by Aubrey saying, wow, that was really overwhelming. And Mr. Lewis, it was overwhelming to you, but Aubrey probably had to do it with 6 infants at the same time as opposed to 1. So I do have to give a couple of more kudos to Audrey in that situation. But I do have to resonate with that. Actually, I did mention that I was a former CPS teacher, Chicago Public School teacher, and my original intention in going into teaching, when I was 5 years old, I was telling people I was going to have my own school, but I really didn't know what that looked like. My original intention was to go into middle school and actually do hearing impaired children. But when I experienced preschool and early education, that was my hook, and I never left. So my words of advice is really what we've been saying this whole time, you have these programs available to you as you are entering your high school career, even in the middle school time when you're looking for your classes, or when you're going on those high school visits that are really encouraged for you to go on. Keep that in the back of your mind when you're planning. When you're in the neighborhood, when you're driving around your neighborhood, there are early learning centers everywhere, all around you. We as educators love when we have young people that are interested in coming into our industry come in and say hello and just have these conversations, because we need you right now. So we want to talk to you. So my biggest recommendation is being aware of your environment, being aware of the tools that you have both in your middle school, in your high school, that put you in positions to meet with these community partners, meet with the school partners that position you for those hands-on experiences. Again, they're life-changing and they're invaluable in your decision to target what you're going to do in education.
And I'll follow Kimberly there. The first piece of advice I would give would be, obviously, I think first to, again, take advantage of that wonderful program DE214 has in partnering with education. It seems like it's such an amazing look into what it is to be a teacher, the classes you'll take, the experience you'll get. I think, like we had all mentioned, it's something that's going to be very foundational for if this is something you have a passion for and want to do, and it will really help you then when you get to college. I'm sure it's going to make things so much easier with all that experience you have. So I think that would be my first piece of advice. And then I would also say to try to do things where you're taking on leadership roles, because as a teacher, you are the kind of leader of your ship here in the classroom. And I think the more experience you can get in front of kids, in front of children, maybe doing something like a camp counselor, doing things to get up in front of groups and speaking, because I definitely was not, when I was a high schooler, I was not trying to get in front of my class and talk. I just wanted to play sports and kind of get through the day. And some classes in college helped me learn to be a better public speaker, to get up in front of people. And I wish I would actually start that a little bit earlier in my life. So I would highly recommend trying to take opportunities where you can get in front of people and work on your presence in front of a group, and do things where you're showing leadership abilities, like things like in the summer, and maybe with a younger age where you can be a mentor and a role model for those younger kids as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. As I swing back over to our District 214 teachers, I know you guys you've been here through a lot of the development of this education pathway. Can you just speak about some of the development, where we started, where we are right now, and the why behind where our dual credit courses are, where our lab courses are, the why behind the sequence of courses?
Sure. So our education pathway really start with preschools. That's traditionally what all 6 high schools had. And since then has really exploded into, again, all these opportunities you've heard about tonight already, right? Working within different age groups. And I think one of the biggest benefits to the education pathway in its state now is you get a taste of early childhood. You'll get to work in actually a high school classroom. So as a junior, being put in like a freshman classroom, working in our partnering middle schools or junior highs, like you've heard from tonight, and then also elementary schools. So before even graduating from high school, you've gotten to try a little bit of every age group. Because like Aubrey's shared with us, like she kind of found her passion from getting in that classroom. And some people find it right away. They walk in like, yes, I'm going to be that elementary teacher. And similar to what John shared, he changed his mind. And so sometimes the biggest success is finding the change, and getting the taste of all areas and all different types of students to that.
Yeah, and to add to that, historically, Ed Academy, our capstone course, has been around for over a decade, but it has expanded within the past 4 years to every building, in trying to make the opportunities more accessible to more students. The reality is this: we need teachers. There is a teacher shortage, and we need quality teachers who are passionate about the field and are excited about it. And then we added on Eastern and added 2 more dual credit classes. Transparently, there was concern with that because it hindered a bit of our internship. But it's been really neat to see that even those 2 hours they go once a week, they are still connecting with kids in such a powerful way that at the end of each semester, before they transition to another rotation, they're getting cards from kids and talking about all the memories and the interactions. To add to that, in each semester they go to a different location, so they're getting 2 different placements in that academy. I think it's important to note that. We've talked a lot about early ed, and I will say I have been in a kindergarten classroom and will attest and share this with all of my high school students. I have seen classroom management and planning and interactions in a kindergarten classroom that made me a better teacher as a high school educator. And so every one of those experiences is important. But like Angela said, not only do we have the in-house school and all those opportunities, but you are going to get experience that would prepare you if you want to be a high school teacher as well. So it's a very robust program. It is growing, and it's growing because there is a need, and all those that are involved are really passionate about what we do, and we're excited to inspire kids to consider education.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I do want to commend our teachers for all the work that they've done to grow this program. Each year, and we actually just yesterday at Rolling Meadows High School, we had administrators from across the state at Rolling Meadows High School checking out our pathways and looking at different areas within the pathways, education being one of them. So we have administrators from throughout the state many times a year coming in to take a look at the great things that our teachers and administrators together have created for our students. So I truly do appreciate the work that you guys have done. Aubrey, I got one more for you. And you've talked a little bit about it, but I want to hear about your post-secondary plans. And how is the district, John Hersey High School, how have they prepared you for what you're going to see in the future?
Yeah, so Hersey really helped prepare me for what I wanted to see in the future because I was able to work with the preschoolers and form lesson plans and see like what the kids liked and what they didn't like, how they learned better through certain ways and how some kids worked better through other ways, and just making activities that involve gross motor and fine motor, and just learning all of that when I walked in as a freshman was really helpful and gave me so much just like insight on the field of education and everything that I wanted to do there. And then when I got this internship and I got to work with that really wide range of ages, and I got to work with kids of different abilities as well. So I kind of got to touch on the special education field, as well as I got to touch on early childhood and elementary as well. And this internship really helped me discover that I really like elementary education, and that is a place where I see myself in the future, as I loved working with the kindergarten class and seeing the kids every day and helping them write their letters every day and just see how much they progress in like such little time too. We're only 2 months into the school year and the kids are writing full words, where at the start of the school year, they had a hard time just writing the letter S, and now they can write SAT and so many awesome words. It's so rewarding. And although it's difficult at times, of course, it is just so rewarding. At the end of the day, it is truly a rewarding job. And I feel very prepared and confident that this is what I want to go into for the future. And post-secondary, I definitely plan on going to get my bachelor's degree in elementary education and proceed with a master's degree, and hope to spend the rest of my career working in early elementary education.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat. But in the meantime, any final words from any of our panelists?
I think one other thing that hasn't been said yet is just like some pieces of advice. We've heard a lot of really good advice from all the panelists, but take advantage of those volunteer opportunities too. I'm always sharing different ways to work with kids, and it doesn't have to be formal and leading a classroom. All experiences are great experiences. And I know, Tim, you can probably speak to this too, that we always have people reaching out to us specifically as Ed Pathway teachers, looking for students to help out at the family fun night at this school, or helping out with, running activities at this elementary school. So there's always ways to just gain more experience, and the more you can get, the better, and the more connections you can make, the better. We have students coming back to us all the time who keep in touch throughout the years. You never know who's going to hire you or who might be a great connection. Right now, I think we have like 5 or 6 Rolling Meadows High School graduates that are now Rolling Meadows High School teachers. So you just never know where your path could take you. So make those connections with all those experiences you're getting, whether it's, again, formally in an internship or just volunteering at, local school.
Yeah, I was going to add, the pathway, we haven't discussed this yet, but we also have our partnering colleges, Eastern and National Louis. And if you go through our pathway and then go to those colleges, that experience, we create a cohort for you. And then if you go through that whole program and with our partnering colleges, you're guaranteed an interview in our district or in our local partnering districts. And I mean, there's a perk to that. But just being a part of this as well, to your point, Ange, this year, we just hired someone that was in my first Ed Academy group at BG. And we're seeing these several of our graduates getting plugged into our local schools. And, you mentioned the networking component. We emphasize with our students, you're stepping into schools. There's a shortage and a need for teachers. The impressions you're making are providing opportunities when you're done with college. And we're seeing that happen in the local districts. And so it is a really special opportunity for our students to already get plugged into schools, whether it's through volunteering or interning, and then going through our partnering colleges and getting prepared for that as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Kimberly, you want to go ahead?
Oh, no, go ahead. You go.
I was just going to say real quick to go off what Tim said there is that this year, actually, too, at Lincoln, we just hired a student. My first year at Lincoln, she was an 8th grader, and now she got hired at Lincoln, and she's co-teaching with me in my classroom. So it's one of the coolest experiences, as a teacher, to see, again, a student who was an 8th grader to come back and now as an adult, and taking on that passion of teaching, and it's just such a rewarding feeling for sure.
And just one other thing that I did want to mention too is we also want to offer the opportunity. We're hearing a lot about teaching within the schools, which we are in desperate need for teaching within our school system, within both our public and private school system. But education is also not limited to that. So we always want to encourage you to look at the other aspects of education. For example, my first hire 25 years ago, I started my company 25 years ago, and I still have one of the first young ladies that joined me as a 16-year-old. And she was a sophomore in high school. She proceeded to get her entire education while working with me. We supported her in that, both financially and with mentorship. And she now is director qualified and will be, as we're opening additional centers, will be stepping into a director's role. So she has made that her lifetime career, starting off as a teacher assistant, then going to a teacher and directorship. So there's so many ways in which you can pursue a career in education that you always want to just never limit yourself. We say that as teachers, never limit yourself, but there's so many possibilities both in the private sector as well as the public sector that you just really are uniquely positioned. Additionally, in early childhood now, one of the things that is represented in 214 as well, some of our college collaborations with Harper College and with Oakton College are able to be supported within the internships. So I have educators that work for me that have transferred from 214 schools, have graduated from 214 schools and moved directly into their Harper College program and are still participating in those cohorts as they're continuing their post-secondary education. So that again is a great recommendation, just making those connections, keeping all of the doors you can open for you as you're exploring what you want to do.
Thank you all so much. And I would just really want to echo everything that everyone has said. I think the great thing about our pathways is we have the opportunity, or our students have the opportunity to know what they want to do prior to heading off to college or wherever that post-secondary opportunity is. Take it from someone who walked into school as a nursing major and really I really had to do some soul searching, right, to get to this point here in education. I will say that we have the greatest job in the world. I'm very biased when I say that. We have the opportunity every single day to walk in and change lives, change our students' lives, but also the opportunity for our students to change our lives for the better. So if there's any questions that you have, please feel free to reach out to the division head at your home school. And then we will make sure we get you in contact with the appropriate person. We thank you so much for being here with us tonight. We hope that you're able to gain some knowledge about our education pathway, and we hope to see you in our classes here in the future. Thank you all so much. And thank